have a backup plan if we got caught.
Hmm? You're here. I was beginning to think you might not make it. I thought you might not remember your first trip here. You had a big night. I think you've definitely earned the staff. Oh, the Hagraven feather and so on. You can throw all those out. You see, I really just needed something to encourage you to go out into the world and spread merriment.
Your magical reserves are prodigious.
What are you staring at? Let's be honest here. I don't always think my decisions through, but you're going places. Maybe a little influence from your old Uncle Sanguine could help adjust your course a bit. Just a prank? Just a prank? The Daedric Lord of Debauchery does not deal in mere pranks. This may have begun as a minor amusement, but it wasn't long before I realized you'd make a more interesting bearer of my not-quite-holy staff. My pleasure, but I think it's time for you to go. No fun keeping you locked up in here with the staff.
Come on in. Just stoke the fire. Take a seat and get the cold out.
With answers comes knowledge. But to the gods, we are nothing more than nearsighted beasts.
I hope your parents are... Some may call this junk. Me, I call them treasures. You take care of yourself now.
Got something for just about everybody in here. Give a holler if you... Everything's for sale, my friend. I'll take your money, but I make no promises of a large return on your investment. These are troubled times, after all. Ah, the sound of clinking coins. Even better, the sound of clinking coins in my hand. Some may call this junk. Me, I call them treasures. Do come back.
Got a lot of steel to shape. Yes, lad. You've been raised into the companions, I hear. I can fashion whatever kind of weapon you want. Finest forge in Skyrim, right here before you. A blade. It will be as sharp as Fralia's tongue.
Besides combat and training, I do enjoy a good read every now and then. After all, knowledge is power. Skyforge? Aye, my clan fathers have worked it since the first Grey Manes came to Whiterun. Skyforge steel is all the companions will use, for good reason. You blind, boy? I'm a blacksmith. Any halfwit could see that. By Izmir's beard, I ain't one for humor. You know who the companions are, so quit your asking. Gods be praised.
Skeletor is such a creep. He said he would even buy me if I was looking to sell. Then he went on about selling his system. Can't be think I'm strange.
You know your way with destruction magic. Good.
What are you looking at?
You have a death wish, then? If you know that name, you must know to meet him would be to meet your end. But it seems we both have needs, friend. Perhaps we can help each other out. I have dishonored my brothers by being captured, so they have left me here. My life with the Alakir is over now, but I have no wish to die in this god's forsaken land. If I can be released from prison, I may start over. See to that, and I'll tell you what you want to know. 100 gold will secure my release. You can afford that, can't you? I suppose you'd better hope you can, if you want the information. Get the money into the hands of one of these guards, and I'll tell you what you want to know. Because I was clumsy enough to be captured. Kamatu always says, we're supposed to be the best of the best. I wasn't. Mm-hmm.
Wait. I know you. All right then.
Tidings, weary traveler. These days it's not often I get approached, at least by other men. They call me Larkspur. That name should tell you anything you need to know, and everything you want to believe. Perhaps you may have heard vicious rumors regarding my appetite for women, and I assure you, they're all true. You may have heard I'm a nefarious rogue who robs and kills and beds your wife, but only if you're rich. And I assure you, I don't care whose wives I bed. You may have heard I'm taller than a giant and as ugly as a troll. And so, I submit to you my person as evidence, and you'll see that I'm chiseled like a sculpture, and that rumor is more mud than stone. That means my arrogance is well deserved. If I told you I was handsome but had the face of a billy, you'd probably laugh first and then pity me second. But I doubt you'd find me arrogant. Would you believe me if I said I came here for the company? Such a statement would be made in jest, of course, but not entirely false. I do indeed come here for the company, but only to mock it. Never. I wouldn't mock those whose predicaments once mirrored my own. I'm a bandit, a thief, which might strike you as odd, considering this dashing head of mine is still attached to its body. After all, in this land, only the rich get a trial, whether your capital is coin or politics. My pursuers couldn't execute me because I turned myself in. I turned myself in because the Jarl can't risk an execution. With the civil war going on, there's too much turmoil, and the Jarl knows his chair isn't exclusive to his bottom. To execute a bandit who sacks finely clothed men and spreads the coin among the people, well, that won't make that chair any more comfortable. Goodbye.
Wait. I know you. Mm-hmm. Wait. I know you. There's no mistake. You're a wanted man, and it's time to pay for your crimes. All right. But you just watch yourself. Next time I might not be so lenient.
Yes. This city feels too open.
There's no mistake. You're a wanted man, and it's time to pay for your crimes. Good enough. I'll just confiscate any stolen goods you're carrying. Then you're free to go. Done. Convince him to stay out of the city while you're at it. Heard they're reforming the Dawn Guard. Vampire hunters. Something in the old fort near Riften. Might consider joining up myself.
buy my way out of here, and I'll tell you what you want to know. Very well. Kamatu is west of Whiterun. It's an unassuming little cave called Swindler's Den. You realize if you set foot in there, you're never coming back out. They'll kill you. But that's your problem, not mine. Guard! My fine's been paid, now set me free! What are you looking at?
Sorry, my ears aren't so good. You say something?
I said my fine has been paid. Now let me out!
Right. Oh, look at that. I seem to have lost my keys. Might take me a while to find them. You just sit tight. I'll get around to it eventually.
Curse you! What are you looking at?
Need something? My mother. Truth is, I was a bandit before I was anything else. The bandit business was the family business, and I've been a no-good bandit since birth. My parents made it seem so romantic when I was a child. They would return and tell me tales of great beasts and come back with the skins as proof. Most of the time, they brought back books they stole from caravans. They wanted a different life for me, but they weren't naive. They also taught me the trade, how to knock an arrow, shoot a troll between the eyes, and harvest its fat. As you might expect, I was a natural. They taught me how to kill a man, too, where the weak points were in his body and mind, how a simple illusion spell can pierce harder than any blade. When I went out on my own, however, I soon learned that the life of a bandit was far from romantic. There was no sense to the carnage. It didn't matter if you were rich or poor, armed or defenseless. If you walked the road, you paid the toll. I agree, but you'll have a hard time convincing a bandit of his moral obligation. Gold is far more persuasive. Now that's a time I don't mind revisiting. They call me Poverty's Prince, which, like the king in rags, is both the title of disrespect and honor. Whether a person thought it one or the other could tell you all you needed to know about their station. I myself accepted it with great pride. Farewell. Yes? It all changed when I read a book called The Beggar Prince, and I realized the beggars with eyes and ears on the streets were the key. I took what money I had and befriended them. I learned of the comings and goings of the city's wealthiest merchants and the mercs they hired. Soon, my whisperers included the townsfolk in the market district and the farmers who worked outside the castle walls. I knew what shipment was going out and when. I knew the men tasked to guard it. What time they woke up, their favorite drink, if they pissed in the river or liked to use a latrine. Gathering the muscle for the job was easy. Most bandits are too stupid to organize a guild, but they know the shiny things are worth a lot of coin. The whole thing made for good business, and after every successful raid, I made sure to fill the coffers of the lower district. That's how I became Poverty's Prince. I merely invested in the very beggars and workers that the wealthy try so hard to ignore. When the merchants found it too difficult to stop our raids, Alfred Battleborn used his considerable resources to threaten the people. He put the fear of the Daedra in the townsfolk, and the cost of information went up. Plus, the information we did get was unreliable. Alfred paid the beggars to misdirect us, or send us straight into ambushes. Say what you want about the Battleborns, but they're a clever group. Because I'm rather confident they want me in their bed. And why not? I'd go to bed with me, and I don't even like men. I'm even running out of lavender flowers to leave on their beds. It's my signature, you see. It gives them a token to remember me by, and it helps me from making the mistake of bedding the same woman twice. You make it sound like life is something complex. Life's about one thing, and one thing only. Boredom, or rather, escaping it. Everything we do is an attempt to fill that time. I choose to bed a lass. Another may choose to marry one. The difference between that man and me is the level of commitment. Not to the lass, mind you, but to time. To stay interested, that man fills his life with wives and children. I'm gambling that even now, I can find something else to fill those empty days. Which is where your need of a companion and my needs collide. I'm willing to adventure with you if you'll have me. The alternative is quite scary. What's there to say? The people of Whiterun think my time here was a sham, that my standing among the poor gave me refuge in this foul pit. I admit, I too thought as much, and went so far as to tell those who supported my cause not to fret. I thought I'd live as the Jarl of the dungeon with all the food I could eat and all the ale I could drink. It wasn't so. The guards aren't beholden to some idealistic sense of honor. They just want to fatten their coin purse. A guard is only concerned with following the orders of the man who pays him, and I'm not referring to the Jarl. That's putting it a bit mildly. They beat me, starved me, and they gave me a health potion so they could beat me some more. When I refused to drink, they brought in a healer to restore me so that I'd survive another round of torture. It was a foul trick. The burns, the scars, none of it remained to show the horror of what I endured. I'm afraid I would have lost my sanity completely if not for the kind words of the man in the cell next door. Most of my stories center around beautiful lasses, and this is no different. This story happened shortly after I was released. I received a letter from a courier penned by one Delvin Mallory. With my bandit career finished, he wanted to know if I was interested in joining the Thieves Guild. I confess I wasn't, but I was curious. Upon arriving in Riften, I met a gorgeous blonde Nord by the name of Mjol. Her body was ripped with cords of muscle, but she was still a lady. I chatted with this tall drink of a woman, and learned she was far too righteous for one so filthy as I. Of course, that never stopped me before. Yet, even as we talked, I could sense the eyes of another watching me. Now, I'm used to the wandering eyes of ladies, but these were filled with malice. That night I met Delvin outside the old Ratways. He put a blindfold on my head and led me to the Ragged Flagon. It's inside the guild that I met those eyes for the second time. Her name was Vex, and she said she had a job for me. Then she smiled. A rictus grin, so beautiful, yet so wicked. She never stopped smiling when she uttered the name of the mark. The name was Mjol. My heart was torn between these two women, the thief and the lioness. I yearned to have them both, yet it seemed I'd be forced to choose. According to Vex, Mjol was staying at a man named Aaron's house, some worthless cuckold who shadowed her around wherever she went. A visitor had informed Vex that a bejeweled ship made of solid gold was kept in the guest room where Mjol slept. If I stole the ship, I'd prove my worth to the guild, and to her. I did what I always did when faced with a difficult decision. I went to the tavern and took in the noise. It's the silence that I can't abide. Something didn't sit right. Mjol didn't seem like the type to purchase what amounts to a big gold boat, and Aaron, I've met men like him. Spineless, meek, and hopelessly in love. The kind of man who'd never let a lass sleep in a guest room, just as a lass would never sleep with him. When I broke into the house that night, my suspicions were confirmed. I bagged Aaron's golden ship and returned to the Flagon the next morning. But this tale has a sad ending. For while Vex was pleased and Mjol unsullied, in the end, neither would submit to my charms. If it's a tale of danger and intrigue you wish to hear, then I've got a few. Now, there are many perils I encountered on the road as a bandit, but the most terrifying by far I met in the Drunken Huntsman. She was a raven-haired lass, Dunmer, with streaks of gold framing eyes like midnight. She called herself an artist. I asked if she could paint my friend's picture. She said her price was 500 gold. 500 for a bloody picture, I thought, but I was drunk, so I paid. Bloody was right, and it was my friend that night who paid. Then how about we go to the tavern and find some keen lasses? Telling stories always puts me in the mood. So does anything else. He'd wait until the guards have left, until the night grew still, and as I drifted toward the brink of madness, he'd slowly start to speak. He never addressed me directly. He'd simply tell stories and laugh heartily at his own jokes. They were such awful jokes. But his voice was filled with so much life, almost as if his heart was so full of joy, he couldn't help but give some of it to me. I wish I had. When my sentence was over, I was ushered quickly to the Bannered Mare, where friends and companions came to celebrate my release. We drank and feasted all night and passed along old stories like bottles of vintage wine. By the time I returned to this dungeon a week later, I found his cell empty. Farewell.
Alchemy, when done right, can provide a discernible combat advantage.
do have some. Are you saying you don't trust me? Oops. I dropped something. Just kidding. Okay then.
It's raining. Ugh.
I'll handle it.
What was that?
I almost feel sorry for you thinking you could actually take me on. La 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 la.
At least I know you don't need a weapon to fight.
to get lost, friend.